Biz Books and Brunch is a workshop that we created to kind of teach individuals how to, write a book, start a business. I currently own a publishing company and a consulting company. She owns a consulting company also, but she'll tell you about it a little bit later. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am originally from Charleston, South Carolina, but I left almost 20 years ago, so it's been a long time since I lived here. I lived in Savannah. I went to Savannah State, and I got my bachelor's degree in marketing in 2001. Then in 2006, I got my MBA in business management, and recently I just got my doctorate in business. I started my first company in 2002. So I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. This is my fourth company, so don't keep going until we get it right. I currently, like I said, I own a publishing company, so we show individuals how to write a book. In addition to that, we do startup services, branding, marketing, basically anything you need to, start a business. Want to tell me about yourself?
I'm Tawana Nicole Gibbs. I am Zenobia's partner, and I too am I'm from Guatemala Island, South Carolina.
Yeah. She don't want to say Charleston.
So when people say, "Where are you from?" I'm from Guatemala Island, and they're like, "What's that?"
Where is
and then I get to talk about Charleston. So that's where I'm from. I too went to Savannah State University, graduated with a BBA in business management.
What year?
2004, and then moved to Atlanta, started working for Bank of America as a fraud analyst. Did that for a little while and was like, I want to do something else. So I got bored and went back to school and got my master's in business and organizational security management. I got promoted into a job for SunTrust as an investigator. Very, very fun job. But there was a transition period during that time, and I started my business, Corporate Chicks LLC, which is a startup company. We represent companies. We kind of do negotiate deals. We do all the startup initiatives, and we're a resource for businesses virtually. So while I'm transitioning, I went back to school again and got a second master's in project management. Now, after I went through like a divorce and a transition, like I said, started working at Nordstrom, billion-dollar company, and from Nordstrom now I'm a State Farm agent, and I love that job. It's so rewarding to me to be able to protect, people's things and their lives. So the story of us, y'all remember that movie? The story of us. So I know Marco. I don't call him DeMarco. I know Marco. So when I was at Savannah State, I worked at Red Lobster as a server, and I've known him throughout my entire college.
DeMarco was my husband.
That's her husband. Never knew this chick right here. Never ran into her. Never saw her or anything.
Right.
So in 2008, when I went through my transition period of moving from corporate into entrepreneurship, I'm promoting this book, so I wrote a book, and the book actually turned into a business, and we'll talk more about that when we start the whole workshop. But I'm promoting online. Online, you found us online. Online is the way, it's the best marketing and branding tool ever. I'm marketing online. I'm saying, I'm from Charleston. I went to Savannah State. I wrote a book, blah, blah, blah. And she hits me up, and I don't know if she thought I stole her life or something.
So listen. Real talk. So, I had just wrote my first book also. She wrote a book. So she used to write, we were a part of this social network. It's not before Facebook, but like right after Facebook got started.
Public.
Yeah, so it was this social network called Shepreneurs for women entrepreneurs, and she was actually one of their...
I was a consultant for them as well, and
I
wrote a lot of business blogs and stuff.
So I saw her biography, and she said that she was from Charleston. She went to Savannah State and earned a business degree. She lived in Atlanta. She had 2 kids. She had just wrote a book, and I was sitting there like, I'm from Charleston. I went to Savannah State. I had 2 babies. I just wrote a book, and I'm sitting here like, who is this girl? So I sent her a message like, hey, I ain't never met anybody.
Yeah, no, right,
just,
dude.
A little arrogant. Never met anybody as fabulous as me, so I had to meet her. Like I have to meet her, so I invited her to lunch. And what is it? 8-9 years later, we're still here. So we've been kind of
so
working
crazy.
together ever since. So both
crazy.
of our first books actually
it is.
got released the same
World
day.
is small.
And we didn't even know each other, so we've been kind of putting stuff together ever since then. So after that, after our first initial meeting, we sat on a couple of boards together, and we actually created something called Writing for a Purpose, which is a writing workshop. But because we're both in business and show individuals how to start businesses, we decided to throw the business piece into it, and that's what this Books and Brunch came from. So,
voila.
that's the story. Yeah.
All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is talk about how to start a business. The first part of the workshop is gonna be basically about a business, because even if you're writing a book, you're gonna need a platform. You're gonna need some way, somehow, to meet your consumers somewhere. And the business aspect of it is what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
So, I've been doing Corporate Chicks LLC since 2008 with startup. I've helped aviation companies, Fabulous Pooches. This lady creates gear for dogs and cats and stuff like that. Like any type of business that you can think of, I have my hand in. One of my recent clients is JR Crickets. It's a huge wing chain in Atlanta, Georgia. One of my friends, they're actually franchising that business out, so I'm representing them. So I have my hands in a little bit of everything. Helped Synovia develop the back office piece of A to Z Books. Kind of came up with how to quantify things and break it down into intricate details on how to not only price, but what information should be presented and things like that. So we work very cohesively together. Super excited about that. But the first thing so just to give you some knowledge on my skills and my experience, that's what I wanted to do. So step one is the idea. You have this idea to create a business, right? Or you have this this vision or this desire to start a business. Business starts with either a product or a service or both. And that's basically where you start. So, is this idea tangible? Tangible meaning, can you touch it? Can you feel it? Can you give it to someone? Is it a book? Mr. Russell wants to write a book. Is it food that heals the brain? Is it art? Business can be a product. So we understand that you guys know a little bit about business, but breaking it down into intricate details to get the back office together is basically what I do. So we know that you're smart. We know you have it going on, but sometimes you just need it broken down into minute pieces. For me, Corporate Chicks LLC is a product and a book. And just to give you an idea, I wrote the book Corporate Chicks, and my mom's friend, she basically wanted to start a bed and breakfast. She didn't know how to start an LLC. She was like, I don't understand this paperwork, and that was my first client, so I helped her do that. And I was like, hold on, I'm doing this for free. Let me turn this into a business. So doing the startup process with her and myself, I learned how to do it. And we know people pay for convenience. That's basically what my business provides. Some people want to start a business, but they don't want to do the work to start a business. They'd rather hire someone to do it. That's where I come into play. So my business started off first as a product, and then it turned into a service. And that's how Corporate Chicks LLC actually developed. And I knew I needed a platform to sell my books. So, as an author, it's a slow drip, y'all. That author process is you have to have a platform, you have to have an audience, you have to have a target market. We'll talk about that more in the book writing process. But that's basically the whole idea. Step one is the idea, figuring out if it's a product or service or both, and how you're gonna represent, your business.
And
go ahead, Synovia.
My company, I actually started out with a service. So I told y'all I had a couple companies. So back in 2005, I started a consulting company called Atlanta Creative Consulting. where we did like business startup and workshops, and we actually used to do customer service training for like Fortune 500 companies and stuff like that. And I had two business partners, and we were doing a marketing workshop for the city of Savannah. We were teaching, individuals how to market their companies. And when we left the workshop, a couple of people were like, "This information was so great. Where can we find it?" And then I was like, I should put it in a book. So see, my book actually came out of my business, whereas hers was the total opposite. She had a book first, then she turned it into her business, but my business actually turned into my book. So I started out with a service, and then I created a product.
And
So sometimes, it just intertwines, yeah.
And another thing we want people to know, and we're gonna let Rashida talk a little bit about her, is it
Yeah.
time? So
The
we
type
want
of
people to
company.
know, like, when you're starting a business, it doesn't have to be something. I'm a visionary. I'm a person. I like to take something from nothing and turn it into something. That's me. But some people, like the agent that I work with, Noelle Thornton, she's an agent. She basically had startup money and walked right into a business that we have the computers, we have the, we just had to find the resources and the sales and the leads and things like that. But she is a small business owner, making almost $20,000 to $30,000 a month through State Farm.
Wow.
So it's a franchise business, but that's another way to start up. Another way to start up is through network marketing, if that's your thing. I mean, I know you all have family members who sell Body by Buy, Amway, they sell this, they sell that, and some people are the herbal tea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always something coming out, and some people want to go that way into entrepreneurship. That's another way to just step in. But the way that we went, we kind of started from scratch and built ourselves up, and we're still learning and we're still developing, and it's a wonderful process. The entrepreneurship journey is wonderful. So just kind of know that you don't have to start from scratch. You can actually start from a franchise like the JR Crickets and like Rashida. So I'm gonna let her tell you guys a little bit about what it is that she do, and then we'll go to step 2.
Okay. Hi, I'm Rashida Williams. I'm a customer service rep for many different companies. I actually work from home. It's kind of like a mini call center, but it's in your home. So what I do is I provide customer service to many different Fortune 500 companies. Some of our clients are Comcast, AT&T, also T-Mobile. So what it is you're at home, you're all set up through the computer and the phone, and what you're doing is you're taking calls from the comfort of your home, and you're assisting customers with customer service, whether it be tech support, whether it be some help with the cell phones, or whether it's help explaining their bill. So basically what we do as a company, it's called Change Your Thinking Consultants, is we're trying to get your thoughts changed on working from home and working in the virtual environment. It's very lucrative. There's no gimmicks. There's of course startup fees as with any business, because the thought process is you have your own company. You're your only employee. You're only responsible for you. You get to make your own hours. You decide when you want to work, when you don't want to work. Same thing with a business. You get paid when you work. When you don't work, you don't get paid. So it's basically your own business. We help you start it from the ground up. I've been doing it for 6 years now. I started under a different corporation. I just started my own corporation. So, like I said, very lucrative if it's something you want to get into, especially if you're thinking about starting your own business and you want the flexibility. This is a way to go, because like I said, you make your own hours, you decide when you get to work, when you don't want to work. So that's just a little bit about the company, and if you have any questions or concerns, I have my business cards here if you want to take a look, and if you want to email me or call me, we can set up a consultation, and we can go from there.
And Lonnie, you said you own your own company?
Yes,
Okay, and what is that?
that's Energy Man LLC. I'm an energy consultant. I help companies, churches, schools, everything but a house, pretty much.
Mostly commercial. Type.
Commercial, industrial, yeah.
Gotcha.
Too many people out there doing houses. I help them lower their utility bills, and I do that through energy efficiency.
So how was your startup process?
I had started consulting when I was still working for a company. I got my certified energy manager certification. I was doing energy work for the company, and then when things were going pretty bad in 2010, the state started actually paying with the money that was out, what was it called? I don't remember what it was, the TARP money, I think it was.
Okay, yeah.
It came out in 2010, the state was actually soliciting for people to do
Yeah.
audits for them.
Yeah.
And I jumped on it and formed my company
Okay.
to do that. So I was already, then I kinda got I was working for a corporation, I saved them a whole bunch of money, and right after they gave me a big bonus, 2 months later, they gave me a pink slip because they didn't need me anymore.
Right,
Mm.
right.
Restructuring.
Yeah,
said.
that's what they call
I
it.
had
That
Yeah.
happened to me at SunTrust.
Right. I had enough of that. I've been in South Carolina since, I've been maintenance manager for 3 companies, and 2 of them were shut down, the other one restructured, so I'm like, you know what, I'm
Wow.
tired of playing that game.
I know that's right.
So I've been on my own since, March was my 5-year anniversary as self-employed, so pretty happy.
Amazing.
That's good.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay, so we'll go to step 2. So the step 2 of starting a business is research, supply and demand. Before you start a business, you need to know what you're supplying and who you're supplying it to. You want to make sure that whatever product or service that you're selling, you know exactly who your target market is. So whether it's, demographics, age, things like that, because you don't want to sell, you don't want to open up a bathing suit store in a nursing home community, people do that now, you don't think about it, and you don't want to sell, ice cream, in the middle of New York, so, you just gotta think about who your clients are, so before you start a company, just make sure, you do your research, location, product.
Come in.
Someone's knocking on the door, is the door locked? Is the door locked?
I don't think so. Hello.
Hello. Hi. Thank you for coming. You guys can sit over here and